overview of the policy. Thank you. The policy context, the priorities, the sectors and target groups, and then my colleagues will discuss the finance and contracts rules and how to apply and the procedures to follow. And then if you have any questions, we'll have some time at the end. So I'd like to start off with just explaining to you what the policy context, the priorities and sectors and the target groups are of Switch Asia, just so that you have an idea of if your idea is a good one, and that it's linked to promoting sustainable consumption and production. So just to explain, the Switch Asia program was launched back in 2007. It's been very successful. We've had many successful projects across Central Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, and South Asia. And since January, it's now been extended. We're now in phase 3. And the idea is that the program supports the transition of the regions to a low-carbon, resource-efficient and circular economy, whilst promoting more sustainable supply chains and products between Asia and Europe. And it's also reflecting a lot of the priorities of the European Green Deal and the European Global Gateway Strategy. It's also a major EU response to SDG, or Sustainable Development Goal number 12, in its international cooperation. Just to explain, UNEP defines sustainable consumption production as a holistic approach to minimizing the negative environmental impacts from consumption and production systems while promoting quality of life for all. And in particular, focusing on the management and efficient use of natural resources, encouraging companies to adopt sustainable practices, reducing food losses, chemical waste, also touching topics like waste generation, green public procurement practice, and strengthening scientific and technological capacities to move towards more sustainable patterns of SCP. You're probably aware of this, but the greenhouse gas emissions that we have occur mainly due to human activities, and industries are highly responsible. But we are at a turning point, and so it's very important that we move from a linear to a greener and more circular economy. And it's absolutely essential for our societies. And so it's a new opportunity to rethink the way we produce and consume across the world and change the way our societies function. If we look at the EU's Global Gateway, just to explain to you, perhaps this is new, but it's the European model of trusted connectivity in partner countries. And it's in line with the EU's interests and values such as rule of law, human rights, international norms and standards. And it's also about smart, clean and secure investment in quality infrastructure, connecting goods, people and services around the world in a sustainable way. I mentioned also the EU's Green Deal. That's also key when it comes to climate change in reducing the impact of energy-intense sectors, again promoting circularity, sustainable food processing, also forest-friendly products, setting global standards for products, reducing food loss and waste. We also touch upon packaging, empowering consumers in their daily choices, and promoting green finance by adopting a taxonomy. On the right here, you've got various Green Deal actions, which are publicly available on the internet, which I invite you to read in case of interest. They cover agriculture, biodiversity, textiles, and plastics. And there's also a growth strategy linked to the EU Green Deal, which is no net emissions of greenhouse gases by 2050, as well as economic growth being decoupled from resource use. Yeah, the recordings will be available online afterwards. We're recording now. And so, yeah, and it's really, really crucial that no person and no place is left behind. So it's also very crucial that we move from projects to policy dialogue, that they are linked together. Audio is unclear and choppy. Okay, I don't know.
No, they are here.
Okay.
I don't know if they are seeing you.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, I'll try and speak a bit closer to the microphone. it's really important that we test and can adopt greener and more sustainable industrial processing in MSMEs and promoting greener products and more sustainable consumption patterns and behaviors in Asia and the Pacific. And so this would then feed into the policy dialogue, and especially with the different governments in Asia and Pacific, for the elaboration and implementation of national policies, regulatory frameworks and policy instruments related to sustainable consumption and production. And this is while working with our various EU embassies, or delegations we call them, in Asia and Pacific countries, with the different focal points of the ministries in the partner countries. Now, we come to the guidelines, which I'm sure you've all read and studied hard, and that's why you're here today. There are two priorities that are in the guidelines under section 1.2. The first one is on sustainable production, and that is going to support MSMEs in reducing their greenhouse gas emissions and the environmental impact of the industrial production, improving resource mobilization and efficiency, as well as adopting circular economy practices. So that's number one. The second one is on sustainable consumption, and it's engaging with consumers on low carbon practices and sustainable consumption and production practices. So now, the project proposals that we will hopefully submit by the 12th of December should only address one of the mentioned priorities. And just so that you know, in the past, or over the last, 16 years now, Switch Asia has already funded around 160 projects. So please avoid duplication with the ongoing and the past projects. And so what we invite you to do is to check the activities that have already been funded under the Switch Asia program on the website below there, which is www.switch-asia.eu. And when you land on that page, you'll see at the top, you'll see grants program. I've put an arrow there. So you can click on that, and then you will be given a few examples, and you can filter them by country, and by theme. So there are just a few here. There are, I think, 143 on the website. These are just a few, and you can look at them and get inspired. Now, if we look at the size of the grants, the duration, the total budget we have is 24 million euros for this, and we've divided it into two lots. We have the Asia lot, which is 20 million, and the second lot for Pacific countries, which is 4 million euros. And what we're asking for is proposals between 500,000 and 1.5 million euros. The duration is 36 to 48 months. And when it comes to EU co-finance, the minimum percentage is 50% of the total eligible costs of the action, and the maximum percentage is 80% of the total eligible costs of the action. And it would only be 90% if the action takes place in least developed countries. And the balance should be financed from sources other than the EU budget. Now, if we go to the guidelines of section 2.1.1, there are the target groups. So we have MSMEs, retailers, chambers of commerce, industrial clusters or associations, national and regional clean production centres, farmers associations. We also have universities and research centres, centres for technology transfer, international non-governmental organisations, so NGOs, consumer organisations, development organisations, trade federations and labour organisations, and public sector operators. Here we have a list of the eligible countries. I won't go through all of them. You can see them on your screen, and they're also they appear in the guidelines. Finally, when it comes to multi-country proposals, you're allowed to do it, but it has to be in the same lot. So it's either Asia or Pacific. And they should also show a clear added value of tackling a topic regionally and or jointly across borders. And they should not result only in a list of activities carried out nationally. What we suggest is that you include at least one country with a more advanced sustainable consumption and production policy framework. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit difficult to kickstart. As well, actions should take place in the eligible countries that I mentioned before. However, only a few individual activities, such as conferences and seminars, can take place in other locations mentioned in section 2.1.1 if duly justified and lasting maximum 21 non-consecutive days. They should be clearly indicated in the timeline of the action. What's also important to note is that the implementers and subcontractors of the contract PC 15460, that's Switch Asia promoting SCP, it's the policy support component of Switch Asia, are not eligible under this call for proposal. Now, crucial to look at is the sectors. So, as I mentioned, in line with the priorities set with the Green Deal, this call will target primarily, but not exclusively, the following 5 sectors. So, textiles and leather, the food sector, which includes agri-food and fishing, building and construction, plastics, with a particular focus on plastic packaging and its waste, and finally, electronics. What we ask you to do when it comes to the type of action is check the examples of both priorities on page 14 of the guidelines. So we ask you to be innovative, but please do not reinvent the wheel. And they can also tackle one or more of these actions within either priority 1 or 2. But please read the guidelines in prospect carefully and do not mix up the rules for the different priorities. Actions may take place at any of the phases of the product lifestyle. So it can be the designing phase, the manufacturing, the logistics and distribution, the consumption, or the end of life management. You don't need to cover everything. We ask you to concentrate on where you can make a difference. When it comes to inception activities, maximum period is 4 months within the whole duration of the project, and it should be clearly indicated in the timeline of the action. When it comes to ineligible actions, those are the ones which are concerned only or mainly with individual sponsorships for participation in workshops, seminars, conferences, and congresses. Also, anything to do with individual scholarships or studies or training courses. As I mentioned before, any inception or preparatory activities exceeding 4 months, proposals focusing exclusively on farming, harvesting, primary production or raw materials, proposals whose main objective, or where the majority of the activities, is to provide training courses, and they should not represent more than 20% of the budget proposed. And finally, financial support to third parties. Now, indicators are very important. They're key to your success. It's so that you can measure the impact of projects. On page 15 and 16 of the guidelines, we ask you to specify your contribution to at least one of the SDG targets. And you're encouraged to look at the DG Interpa's Green Economy results chain and sector indicator guidance. Also, please include it in your log frame, the complementary indicators as relevant. Now, this is just a list of the examples of the indicators, which can be found in the page that I just mentioned. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can have a quick look. And anyway, this is being recorded, so it'll be available online probably later today or tomorrow, Brussels time. Now, when it comes to access to financing and scaling up and reproduction, our grant component provides opportunity to test innovative SCP practices. So it's all about innovation, and we're aiming to replicate them. So it doesn't mean that it's, well, the expectation that we have is that you can prepare one or more business cases to be proposed to private and public investors to increase the availability of SCP practices on the market, either nationally or regionally. Projects are expected to improve the investment climate for green solutions in Asia and Pacific, providing evidence to investors that investing in SCP brings short-term and long-term benefits economically. So it should not be limited to one specific work package or activity, but it should form an integral part of the overall project design. And they should address both demand-sided activities targeting beneficiary businesses and complementary supply-sided activities with financial institutions. Just a few tips, suggestions. We would suggest that you start preparing your proposals based on clear analysis. Your consortium composition would come at a second stage based on the expertise required to achieve your objectives. Make sure that you're fully aware of the national or regional policies or the legislations or the law that you wish to address in your project. It's the starting point to make a positive change in your country. Please include MSMEs and consumers or their representatives to be sure that you will reach your final beneficiaries. Include partner with strong knowledge on the sector area you wish to cover within your project. Also think about associating local national authorities, regional organizations, auditing companies, entities, or standardization bodies. To reinforce your activities related to the access to finance, which I mentioned earlier, think about associating local national banks, financial institutions, or development banks with whom you may start discussions on possible business cases. There's no formal obligation for your proposal partnership to be endorsed by any ministry or government, and no additional points will be allocated to a proposal submitting such an endorsing document. Now, I pass the floor to my colleague, Gelsomina, and I will stop sharing now.
Yeah. Can you see my screen, everybody? No. Let me check now. Not at all. Wait a moment. I'm sorry. Change rule, make presenter. Now. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. One moment. I will arrive. I'm just changing that. I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Okay. Now. Yes, of course.
Not yet.
Okay.
Now it is, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, we can see you.
good morning, everybody. My name is Gelsomina Pedalino. I work for the unit C4 Finance and Contract. My presentation will deal with the finance and contract rule to apply. Let's start by the partnership composition. According to the selection criteria, a partnership has to be
Sorry,
composed
Gelsomina,
by...
there is the echo.
Sorry.
You just need to make it a full screen.
Yeah.
And perhaps just also mute.
Sorry.
Yes, I should start again.
There's an echo somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
I think we need to
Yeah.
This is again for the third time. We are very sorry for that. There is an echo. I don't know why.
Now it's okay.
It's okay for you? Okay, so there's just an echo here in the room. But sorry. So the ideal partnership is composed by one lead applicant and one or more co-applicant. According to the selection criteria, the eligibility criteria, the partnership should include at least one organization from a member state of the European Union, from the European Economic Area, for the member country OECD or a pre-accession assistance countries, and of course at least one of more organization established in an eligible ASEAN Pacific country, originating from the country where the action will be implemented. You have the list Guy already showed before, the list of the eligible countries. Who can participate, of course, who can apply, be a legal person, be a no-profit organization, a private sector member, a for-profit organization, a public sector, or an NGO. But unfortunately, international organizations, as established by the Article 156 of the Financial Regulation, are not eligible under this call. This means all the international entities established by international government agreement are out from this call this time. Very important things to say, it's after the concept note phase, during the full application stage, the lead applicant may replace a co-applicant or an affiliated entity, but only in duly justified cases, like bankruptcy or expiration yes, where there are serious financial problem, no, for the entity. In this case, the new co-applicant must be, of course, must respect the same eligible criteria for the lead applicant, and an explanation has to be provided during in the application form. Let's notice that the explanation / justification should be accepted and can entail the rejection of the proposals. So be very careful on doing that. The next slide, we have a graphical chart where we described the responsibility of the partnership. Of course, the lead applicant, it's the coordinator of all the membership. And the co-applicants gives mandate to the lead applicant to be represented to implement the project, and of course to sign the grant contract, and to be the sole interlocutor with the contract authority. The role of each member, of course, has to be clearly explained in the concept note, and each member has to actively contribute to the presentation, to the implementation of the project. As I told you, the lead applicant main role, it will be it will have the financial responsibility of the contract and the legal responsibility of the contract. So the co-applicants give mandate to the coordinator to submit the proposal, to sign the contract, and to represent all the membership, all the consortium during the contract. It's recommended, but it's not mandatory, of course, to finalize a consortium agreement defining precisely the financial rights and obligation, and of course the responsibility of each member in the consortium. And very important is to have a balanced distribution of the cost among the members. The guidelines also explain that applicants and beneficiaries, all the consortium, all the membership, once the grant contracts will be signed, are all equal beneficiaries of the action. The applicant, we know that can have or not affiliated entities, but this never signs the contract. The affiliated entities are only organizations that entail a structural or a capital links with the lead applicant and with the co-applicant, that are entities directly or indirectly controlled by the applicants. Co-applicant, as I told you, must satisfy the same eligibility criteria, and all the costs that they incurred during the implementation of the project are eligible and covered by the action. Affiliated entities, the same. They should satisfy the same eligibility criteria of the lead applicant and the co-applicant, and the costs are completely covered. Other member of a membership can be associates entities that are organizations involved in the action, that have entered into a procurement contract with the applicant or delegates for public services for an applicant. The important point to underline is here that the costs that they will incur are not covered by the project, for exception of per diem or travel cost in case of attendances of international conferences or visibility events. Same things for the contractors. The beneficiaries and their affiliated entities are allowed to award contract. Associates or affiliated entities cannot be also contractor in the project because they will follow a specific procurement rules. So there will be other rules to follow, and there is other procedures to be respected in that case. Let's talk of the eligibility of costs, even if GOI has already listed all the costs eligible. At the concept note stage, you should know that only an estimation of the budget should be prepared. The fully detailed budget will arrive at the second stage during the fully application presentation, and only for entities that will be invited to apply. Eligibility of costs are costs directly linked to the output and the results. As a general rule, should be realistic and cost effective. Are the costs incurred by the beneficiaries and affiliated entities can take the form of unit cost, lump sum, and flat rate financing. You will see during the full application stage the three methodology that will apply defining the structure of your budget. Contribution in kind, which are provision of goods or services free of charges by third parties, are not eligible and are not treated as co-financing except in the form of voluntary work. That means the personal cost can be covered. Applicants may not propose financial support to third parties. We do not allow subgranting during this call for proposal. In the budget, you will have a section dedicated to the indirect cost that will can reach only the 7% of the estimated total budget of the total of the eligible direct cost, of course, and a contingency reserve that will not exceed the 5%. What is the co-financing here? You know that the project, it can be covered until the 80% of the direct eligible cost, or goes up to the 9% if the action will take place in the least development countries. The co-financing is the difference between the total cost of the action and the amount requested from the contracting authority. Of course, if the applicant will ask for 80%, the remaining 20%, it has to be allocated using own resources or third-party contribution. How to apply and the procedure to follow. The concept note should be submitted in English, of course. Each applicant organization has to be registered in PADOR. For the lead applicant, it's mandatory to do it now at this stage, and later on for the co-applicants will do it during the full application stage. Don't forget to upload in PADOR system the legal entity form and the financial forms too. The submission of the concept note, which is will be done electronically, as you know, as you have read in the guidelines, using the ITE tool Prospect, along with the Annex A, which is the concept note form. Don't forget to submit the declaration that the co-applicants has to provide in order to give mandates to the lead applicant. Sorry, I'm just moving. A tips, a very logical one, do not wait until the last minute to apply. And all the check will be done only according the information available in prospect. Sorry. As you know, the lead applicant may submit more than one application, but be not awarded more than one grants. The lead applicant may not be a co-applicant or an affiliated entities in another application. A co-applicant affiliated entities may be the co-applicant or affiliated in more than one application, but also in this case, they cannot be awarded more than one grant per lot. How the evaluation will be done? Actually, during the concept note stage, all proposal will be evaluated according the selection criteria stated in the section 2.3, step 1. That means that they should meet the deadline, meet the selection eligibility criteria related to the nationality and the geographical coverage of the membership, the relevance of the action, that means the coherence among the objective, the priority, the sector, all the parts explained before by Guy, and the added value in terms of innovation of the proposal. This first step will apply to everybody. Then only the proposal that pass the 30 points will be ranked more than 30 points, will be asked to propose, will be invited to propose a full application. At the full application stage, the selection criteria will go more in deeper, because we will evaluate the quality of the action, the budget, the administrative and financial professional capacity of all the membership. In case of multi-countries project, the candidate has to clearly specify in the concept note which is the main countries where the project will be implemented. Here we have the calendar. The deadline for the question, it will be on the 21 of November. We already received a batch of requests for clarification, and we will be able to publish in the next days the first set of replies that we prepared. The question will be address, as you already are doing, to this functional mailbox below. The deadline for sending the concept note, it will be the 12th of December. The administrative check and the technical evaluation of the concept note will take place among December and January next year. The communication of the result will arrive most probably on February 2024. And the deadline for sending the full application will be on, I don't see the deadline here. Sorry, in May 2024, the evaluation will take place ideally on June, July, and the notification and the signature of the contract ideally on September 2024. That's everything by my side. We are ready to have questions. All the questions that you, if we don't have time to reply to all the questions here now, feel free to write an email to the functional mailbox, and we will be able and time to reply to everybody, and all the information will be published on the official websites, of course. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Gelsomino, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah. My question is that what is your criteria of defining a medium enterprise? Is it any annual turnover number?
I did not understand the question.
My question is that how would you identify if we are a small, medium, or micro enterprise? Is there any criteria? Can you explain something on that? The eligibility criteria. Because I'm talking from Sapphire Finishing, and we consider ourselves Pakistan as a large industry. So, considering your definition, what would that be? We have an annual turnover of around $150 million.
Normally, the
There is echo again.
yeah,
You need to mute on WebEx.
yeah, I mute.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
On WebEx.
We don't hear you.
Now we cannot hear you.
Person who asked
Sorry, we cannot hear you.
the person who asked the
I kindly ask you to repeat the question. We are not able to understand the question. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll repeat myself. I'm saying that you have mentioned in the eligibility criteria that the priority is micro, small, and medium enterprises. I'm saying that the company from which I'm representing right now in Pakistan, we are considered as a large manufacturing company. So I wanted to ask you that what is your criteria of identifying or defining a medium enterprise or a small enterprise? My company's annual turnover is $150 million approximately. So how would that would I be eligible for such a grant?
Can you hear me now? Yes. Normally, it's crazy, yeah.
Can you mute yourself on your computer? Mute. No.
On the computer.
Now is perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. Don't change anything.
Now? We are sorry for that, because we hear an echo everywhere. So normally, it's the number of the employees that define the category of small, medium, or large enterprises. According to the European rules, upon 10 employees, you are defined as, if you have 10 at latest, 10 employees, you are defined as a micro enterprises. More than 10, you will go on medium, and then more than even more, it will be. Now I don't know the thresholds in terms of number of employees, but which define the category of enterprises, it's the number of employees.
Thank you for the clarity. So we can apply for it, like for example, my company's overall size is almost 10,000 employees. So considering that, should we apply for it and then it would be, then clarity would be given to us, or should we not make the effort?
No, I think that you can apply, of course.
Right, all right. So thank you for that.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
It's actually it's the as selection criteria. We don't take into consideration the number of employees of the annual turnover. There is not such a financial restriction in terms of financial capacity of the lead applicant. So yes, feel free to present a proposal.
Excuse me, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, my question is actually about the lead and co-applicant. Is it necessary that either one of them should be registered in the European member countries?
Not hear properly.
Yeah, my question is about the lead and co-applicant. Yeah. Is it necessary, mandatory that either lead or the co-applicant, one of them should be registered in the member country? If they both are not belonging to the member country, would they be eligible?
No, for the eligibility, the organization should be established at least in one of the member states of the European Union.
Now we cannot hear you again.
Ms. Gelsomina, you're muted.
See, we will try to stop using the room and just using the laptop, because in the room we are having some technical difficulties here. So yeah. Okay. Now can you hear us? We are really sorry. We are really sorry. We have switched off the audio in the room here because you see there are so many technical difficulties. Maybe we are just not keen to do that. I'm sorry. We apologize.
Can I request you to call for the questions, because I think everybody's simultaneously asking questions. So.
Yes, can we please have a system where we get delegated a question? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we, Evelyn Nusalim can make a question.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Evelyn Nusalim from Indonesia. I have, well, in fact, two questions. You say that the proposal should represent the EU interest of, among others, the rule of laws. Can you give more information what kind of rule of laws that you required? And the second thing is regarding the single consumption, because I understand for the consumer protection, you would like to have in the country of the location of the application. Is that is not for the single consumption with the EU countries? So I would like to have some clarification on it.
You heard this to do with the rule of law.
Yes.
In the presentation, and I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the second part of your question. Was it to do with consumption?
Yes, the single consumption, because you have some also criteria of the for the proposal from farm to fork, sustainable, and among others, that is also the single consumption.
I'm sorry, I don't actually understand your question when it comes to single consumption. I mean, when we talk about the farm to fork strategy, it's just an EU strategy that we have to do with agriculture. So it's just something to bear in mind when you're sending in your application, to make sure that it's in line with the farm to fork strategy, if you think it's relevant. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by single consumption.
Yes.
And rule of law, to be honest, I don't think this project covers the rule of law.
Oh, okay, because it's on your presentation. And
on the PowerPoint, I think that was more to do with Global Gateway and the different themes that it covers.
Okay.
It was just it's an overarching policy that we have, but in the EU. But I wouldn't focus on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, so the next on our list is Saqib Khaled.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, first of all, for the presentation. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so I have two questions. I'm representing Swiss organizations headquartered in Zurich, but we have local offices in 40 countries, including Bangladesh, where I'm speaking from. So I was just wondering, would you consider a Swiss organization with a local office in Bangladesh eligible to be a lead applicant for the call? Shall I ask my second question now, or?
Yeah, I'm just looking around my colleagues. I think that would be okay.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Because Switzerland is an OECD country.
Yes.
You would just need to have a EU member state or
in the consortium,
or an EAA
of course.
country in the consortium.
And Bangladesh is one of the countries that enter in the least development countries, so it's allowed. You can propose an action.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. My second question is related to the affiliated entities. So if we are part of any Chamber of Commerce and other members, can we nominate or can we include other members of that Chamber of Commerce as an affiliated industry or an affiliated entity? I beg your pardon.
No, because they have their own legal identity. So no, they can be co-applicant or affiliated itself, but no. Yes, they can be co-applicant in the action, but not affiliated.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes.
Affiliated entities are that one that have like a sister company, parent, that have a structural link with the main enterprise, like subsidiaries or sister company. It's the first example that comes to my mind.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Akram Abdul Rahman.
Thanks so much. Excellent pronunciation, by the way. I represent an organization that has its headquarters in the UK, and I'm based in Sweden. So I just wanted to clarify, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty explanatory. In terms of the number of applicants and grants per applicant, it says there that the lead applicant may submit more than one application per lot, but may not be awarded more than one grant. So that includes, for instance, if we have a sub office in, let's say, Bangladesh, one in Pakistan, that's considered one application, right? If we have two co-applicants, or is it only you can apply with one co-applicant?
You can have more than one co-applicant in the same proposition, in the same action. Of course, it will be up to you to define the number of the member that will be part of your membership. But this will have, of course, a coherence with the action that you are proposing. Each co-applicant has to be clearly involved in the implementation of the project, as should be actively be responsible for the implementation
from some activities. So it will be, it's up to you, according the typology of activities and action to be financed and the result that you want to achieve, to include how many co-applicants do you need for the success of your project.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have Kartika Angraini from CSCP.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for the presentations. I think it's really helpful for us. And I would just like to clarify a few things on eligibility of co-applicants or partners. First, so you mentioned that international organizations are not eligible. So it means a UN organization, for example, based in Asia is not eligible, right? And then secondly, a foundation.
Yes.
So they're eligible.
Yeah.
And thirdly, would it be possible for you to elaborate on the fact that this year, I think I hear a lot of
we
noise.
hear,
I think we have Momin Gerel.
can you turn off your yeah.
Yes, thank you. So the last questions would be, would it be possible for you to clarify why Central Asia is not included in this time around? Thank you so much.
So for Central Asia, that was a decision done at our in the hierarchies level in DG INTPA, not to include them this time round. They wanted to focus more on the EFSD plus, the European Financial Sustainable Development.
Yes.
It's to do with investments and blending. They wanted to focus more on that this time round and to focus more on the emerging priorities, the regional priorities for Central Asia, as well as focusing more on their multi-annual indicative programs. So that's why Central Asian countries are not eligible in this round. Yeah.
Thank you. Can we have a hope maybe in the future that there will be?
We can always hope.
included as
We
well?
can always hope.
Okay.
But,
But no one knows at the point. Okay.
not
thank
for
you.
the moment. Nothing for Central Asia at the moment. And that also includes Afghanistan. I saw some questions coming up in the chat. Afghanistan, for us, falls under the same budget line as Central Asia, which is why Afghanistan and Central Asia are not, so the 5 stans are not eligible. Okay. So we've got Sakib Khaled.
No, it's fine. I think you answered my question already.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so the next one is Rakesh Suka.
Yes, thank you. I represent a Nepali non-for-profit organization. Our company is registered in Nepal, but it has a majority shareholding from a UK-based partner. 51% shareholding is with the UK, 49% with Nepali local entities. When we apply for this, will we be considered as a local organization and then can partner with a European organization to put in an application? Or do we necessarily need to have another Nepali organization in the partnership?
No, I think it will be fine. See, don't need I think that the membership will be completed. You will not need to add more local entities. So yes, the consortium that you are in mind, it can work.
Okay, so the definition for a local partner is to be registered in the country where you are proposing.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Next we have Umer Maksood.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Dr. Umar Maksood, and I am representing Sustainable Rice Platform. My question is regarding the application and the main applicant. Can a standard setting organization like Sustainable Rice Platform or Bonsucro that are actually working for sustainability be the main applicant, and with the co-applicants coming from the farming sector, as well as from the downstream consumer sector anywhere from Europe, like to actually cater the carbon footprint right from the production till packaging and processing as well.
Are you asking if you can be the main applicant?
Yeah.
Yes. Where the organization is, where your organization is established? Sorry. In which country?
Yeah. This is Sustainable Rice Platform, and it is actually registered in Germany.
Yes, of course. Yes, you can be the lead applicant.
And we are actually a standard setting organization, ICL compliant, like Bonsucro, like Better Cotton Initiative. This is for rice production, Sustainable Rice Platform.
Yeah, as long as it's not just farming and you're looking at the different angles, as you said, the consumption or the production or the different sustainable ways.
Exactly. So one co-applicant can only take care of the farming, reducing the carbon footprint in the farming practices, while the other co-applicant can come from the consumption and retail side, so that the whole supply chain we can work on that.
Yes, then it will be up to your project idea how to develop and how to assign each role to the co-applicants. As far everything is justified, the roles are clearly explained, and we understand who is responsible for what, it will be fine for us. And so
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Next, we have Sylvia on the list.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very helpful for me if you can explain the simplified cost options in a bit more detail. I didn't fully understand. In particular, so to give you an example, the activities done by the lead applicant and the co-applicant, can we determine a day rate for the employees that will, it's employees, it's freelancers, it's directors, so it's a mix. Can we work on a day rate basis or is that?
Yes, of course. Yes, there will be a daily rate per number of person per day. So at the end, you will have the total amount of your staff salary cost.
Yeah, but this day rate, can it be similar to, so for example, we've received other grants or similar to what we would charge in other projects, or because sometimes it has to be the exact salary amount?
No, I think that there is not a threshold that it will be the exact cost that you will have in terms of salary. So there is not a limit. Of course, it has to be reasonable.
Yeah, but it has to be exact salary cost. It cannot be day rates, which we charge in some grants allow, like a more day or an hour rate, which we would also charge in other projects, for example.
Yes, it can be. Yes, it can be like your actual cost. So if you have per day, you know exactly the amount of the salary cost you can put it. So
yeah, but so I'm saying we would charge more than the net salary cost because, for example, your employees, you also have to take care of their administration. You also have to manage them. So more like a day rate that we set per employee.
Yeah. So you mean if you should charge the gross salary cost or the net salary cost? This is the question.
No. It's some grants allow that you just set. So for example, we work as we also work in consultants basis in other projects, for example. So there are grants that allow that we set a day rate that is fair. If you look at if I would put my employees in another project, I would charge a certain amount per day for them. So they actually allow salary plus like a management
Understand.
percentage on top of that, and administration, and maybe a small profit margin as well. Is something like that? How do you look at that?
No, you cannot charge profit on that.
No, I understand.
But definitely in your daily rate, you can charge other management costs, but it should be reasonable. And actually, I will verify that.
Yeah, it would be good if we can get some guidelines on this, because this is always a big discussion.
Yeah,
I
of
think,
course,
with
of course, I
some- a big
understand.
discussion. And also for directors, so I myself would also be working on this. So I don't have a salary, but I'm a director of the company. So it would be very helpful to get some guidelines on how we can do this.
Okay, I suggest you to write to the functional mailbox, so we will be able to reply to everybody and have the structure of your question. We will make research, and I will give you a precise answer.
Okay, and what's then the difference?
Possible, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. One important thing to retain is that salaries are only paid salaries of staff working for the project. And so
Of
no
course.
salaries for staff that are working in the organization
Yeah, of
and
course.
doing, other things also for the organization. Right?
No, of course, and we can also maintain our registration, but it's just
So that, the salary has to be justified according to the category of the person working, the field of work, etc., etc. But you were mentioning this under the simplified cost options, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also don't fully understand the different options and what output and result based.
Yeah, well, this is a payment that we do on the basis of a result, of an outcome, right? To make an example, I don't know, you describe a result, a concrete result, and we pay for it, provided that there is justification. For example, if you say, I don't know, a possible result, let's say, okay, I don't know, guys, you can say a result under this project.
Finalizing the design of a waste sorting facility.
There are some
Could
costs
that be
that
a
can
result?
The website will not be a result per se.
Sorry?
Design a result, a web page will not be a result per se. For example, let's say that one result, the problem is that results are difficult also to measure. If it is not building a house or, for example, buying a car, that's not a result. So, for example, one result is the levels of pollution of textiles in a given country or in a given region of a given country decreases by 50% of the actual pollution levels measured this year. Imagine this will be also difficult to assess. So, but it's just to say an example. So
for example, if we would build a waste sorting facility, and the result is that the waste sorting facility is there and it has a certain capacity, can that be a result?
Yes. Well, we will have to see. What do you say?
Yeah, we'd have to.
And how do you then justify the cost for such a result?
Yeah, well, it has to be calculated on the. It has to be calculated. For example, the inputs, the personnel working on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, there will be. Sorry, Sebastian, to interrupt you. Anyway, during the application, the full application phase, among the documents available, you will have the Annex K of the guidelines that will explain exactly what is considered by unit costs, lump sums, or flat rate financing method with examples. So there you can have a better idea on which method apply. Of course, there are some activities that can be easily quantified, number of let's say number of how can I say?
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean, but and is Annex K already available now? Because it determines a lot we have to give a budget estimation, right? So I think we need to
Yes.
understand these details before the concept
I
note.
think that is available on the it's in prospect. It's among the set of documents that you can download when you apply. And there is the annex.
Even
K.
now in the concept note stage, it is already there in prospect.
Yeah, I think so. There is there.
We have to check, but or we can send it.
See, or anyway,
Yeah, it would be very helpful,
not-
right? Because
yeah.
it's a really important input for determining the budget
Yeah,
estimate.
of course,
So
to
I
make
know
estimation.
the budget puzzle, I think it's usually the most difficult part of the whole
Of course,
application.
of course.
Okay, and then is it allowed to put working capital, startup working capital as well or not?
Working capital?
Yeah, for the startup cost for a new facility.
Which facility?
Because in the beginning of a sorting facility, for example, you're not making a profit yet.
No, you cannot make profit, of course.
No, but I mean, until you reach profitability, you're making a loss, right? But you need to pay people to do the sorting, for example. Can that be funded?
To waste, do the recycling.
I don't know. We should
ask more detailed questions separately.
Not provide replies to this specific individual
No,
question.
I understand, but it's very unclear what is eligible in terms of cost. So I'm just giving examples, but I'll then ask more specific questions on the email. But
yeah, thank you. So
the section is super unclear. Yeah, I think quite brief, while it's the most difficult part. But
yeah, no, we totally understand.
The guidelines mention Annex K.
Yeah.
On page
yeah,
8.
okay. I'll have a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next is Shikesh, CCX.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this meeting. I'm Rishikesh from India, Koka India. So my question is, can a private organization collaborate with university or institution and apply?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next we have Anjali.
All right. Hello, this is Anjali from India, and I'm going to apply through a NGO, and we are going to target consumer sustainability awareness. So my question is, in the output variables, you have mentioned that it should be targeting the SDG goals. So can we have something which is measured internally as part of the project as an outcome variable, or we need some external objective measure of that SDG goal? Because I can't think about when consumer awareness comes. If it is a water footprint or something, we can have an environmental report, but what can we do for consumer awareness?
Yeah, I think probably the best thing to do is check the guidelines on page 15. We have the different targets and indicators in a nice table, and that would probably be the best.
Yeah, but there is nothing for responsible consumer behavior. That's why I raised this question. I can find it for other things.
Okay, this we would need to check.
Yeah.
I have to admit I don't know. So
Thank you so much. Your guideline will be helpful.
Yeah, Anjali, I've taken note, and I'll see what we can.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Sam.
Hi there. Thank you. I've got two quick questions. So the first one relates to the lead applicants' annual turnover. So I was just wondering if there are any expectations regarding the overall budget that's asked as a proportion of the lead applicants' average annual turnover.
No, there is the turnover doesn't it's not a requirement in the guidelines.
Perfect, thank you. And then the second question relates to the role of international NGOs. So I was wondering if an international NGO that, for example, is headquartered in the US, but has a registered and established operation in one of the target Switch Asia countries, could they still act as a lead applicant?
Yes, but only if they implement an action in the least development countries or high in debt countries. In the list of projects that you have in the section 2.11, section location. In that case, yes, because US, it's in OECD countries. It belongs to these countries, so see, it's permitted.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Thanks. Next, we have Anjuli Boralesa.
Hi, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions, and first of all, sorry I can't turn on my camera. One of my questions is that can one organization be co-applicant for many projects?
Yes, of course, but only in one project this organization will be awarded.
That means if you'll be checking which organizations are co-applicants and you'll be sorting those projects as well.
Yes, of course. And then the project that will reach the highest ranking will be awarded.
All right.
So you have more possibilities applying more than one action, but at the end, only one will be awarded.
Even if it is like, even if you are a co-applicant, there is no chance of you getting two projects. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Even if we apply in two different plots, like for one project with Asian partner and one project with the Pacific partner, even then it's the same.
It's per lot, actually.
Yes, an organization as a lead applicant or as a co-applicant will be awarded only one grant in one lot and one grant in the other lot.
Exactly.
So you can submit 20 applications as a co-applicant or as an applicant for every of the two lots, but you will get only, if you get anything, one grant in each lot, maximum.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. My other question is, can an organization functioning as a component of UN organization be a lead or co-applicant?
What does it mean as a component? What does it mean? The legal statutes, it belongs to if it belongs to the international organization, if it is an agency, for example, it cannot.
But if the legal statute is with the country or is registered in the country, then it is possible, yes?
I don't think so. We should no.
Sorry, the company applying is who?
It belongs to an international organization, but the legal identity is established as an agency of the international organization or as a no-profit foundation, for example. If there is any link with the international organization, they cannot apply.
Okay, thank you. Also, will this entire session be available for us later?
Yes, so
including the Q&A.
We're currently recording it, and we'll put it on, I think, on the YouTube page of Switch Asia.
All right, fantastic. And if you can maybe answer the questions in the chat, I think that'd be great as well.
Yes, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to copy paste the questions and see which ones we haven't answered and publish them in due time. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks. So we have Shaukat Rasool.
Hi, I'm Shaukat Rasool. I'm representing the company based in US. Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a ePlanet Global. We are based in US, but we are working in multiple countries. A lot of my questions you have already been answered, but still I need to ask one or two. First is we have different companies in different countries and different sectors like food and agriculture and textile and construction as well. So if we opt for the different companies but the same directors, can we opt for these grants with the different countries but the same directors?
No, because it will be the same company that apply every time.
No.
No.
We have another company in food business, and we have another company in textile business. These are two separate companies. One or more directors are the same, but we do have different directors. But one or more directors are the same in those companies.
But there is any link among the companies?
No, there is no link in the companies, but there is a same director in two companies. Like if I opt for if I opt for Bangladesh
Yeah,
for
I
textile.
understand. I think it's fine. It's fine. Because the legal identity of each company is different. There are any link among them. So for us, we don't need to know who is the legal representative of, yes, of course, we'll need to know if the legal representative of the company, but we don't mind if the same person is the managing director of another company.
Yeah, okay. And what about the same country? If we put like in Pakistan, we want to do for the food and agriculture and for the textile as well. So with different companies.
Yeah, if it is a different project, it is possible, of course.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Next we have where is it from? Anya Hungeböhler.
That's fine. Thank you. I'm posing this question from HEX in Switzerland. We are aiming to work with a consumer union in Myanmar, but due to the current situation in the country, we are not sure if they're able to renew their registration with the government. So my question is it possible to have a co-application or co-applicant which is not officially registered in Myanmar, given the special situation of the military presence?
Where would they be
I think
registered?
no.
Co-applicants, or applicants, they need to be registered legally somewhere. We cannot work with any entity that is not registered, because for us would not exist.
Exactly. Okay. And then at a later stage, we will ask for supporting documents that sustain the legal identity of each member. So we need official documents issued by the state anyway. So I don't think it will be possible.
Okay. Could we use them as a subcontractor? Could we still work with them?
Yes.
But not as a co-applicant?
No.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the clarification.
You're welcome.
We have Abdul Shab next.
Thank you for presentation. I have one question, because we have company in Pakistan, as well as we have established company, digital company in Portugal in 2019. So can you consider that Portugal companies as a legal member company, as a lead or as a maybe supportive, because it is a mandatory you have a member company established in the member country?
Sorry, we don't understand clearly.
Not quite sure. Could you just repeat? I think we understood that you're a digital company in Pakistan.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Yeah, as well as we have that company established in Europe, in Portugal.
Europe.
In Portugal. Okay.
Yeah. So do we need another member company for the to apply, or that company also eligible who is already working in Europe?
No, as far you have one member that belongs to European Union, yes, and one from the Asia Pacific countries, the membership is valid to respect the eligibility criteria. So it will be up to you to, according to the project idea, to add or not other co-applicant, but it's strictly related to the project. So again, on the role that each member, each partner will have in implementing the project, but legally the membership is valid if you assure the presence this geographical coverage, no? So, so yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Next, we have Umer Majid from VSO International.
Thank you so much for giving this detailed presentation. I have a question regarding eligibility. Now, we are a UK-based international NGO having different offices in different countries, and we are registered in Pakistan as a branch of VSO UK. But given the same condition like as defined in the OECD countries, I believe that we are not eligible for this call. But on the other hand, there is another organization, our partner organization is also registered with the same name in the European countries. It is VSO Netherlands. So it is established in Europe. And from that perspective, if I see that, then VSO Pakistan is also eligible for the application. So is it the case, or still we will be considered as UK-based international NGO based in Pakistan? So in that case, if there are OECD countries, only there is a possibility of their involvement is that if they implement their project in least developed countries. So what about our case in this scenario?
So if you use the organization that is established in UK, so as member of OECD countries, we are obliged to implement the action in the least development countries. If you're gonna use the organization that is established in Netherlands, you can implement the project in Pakistan.
Okay,
so there is not the limit, this obligation, but yes, it's up to see. This is you should, I think, if you want to entail the activities in Pakistan, you are obliged to go with the Netherlands organization and not with the UK based.
Okay, that's great. And there is another question that, for example, if VSO Netherlands takes the lead as a lead organization, so how Pakistan office would be engaged with VSO Netherlands as
a co-applicant, easily as a co-applicant.
Okay, as co-applicant. And in terms of sub-grants, like you mentioned that sub-grants are not allowed. So in that case, VSO Pakistan will be wholly solely implementing the project, or would we be able to identify some local partners as well for the implementation of projects?
You can sub-grant some activities. You can have a procurement relationship with a provider, with a commercial provider. For example, if you have to organize a conferences, you can go with an event specialized enterprise, for example. In that case, you can sub-grant, you can finance that activities using the program and create a purchasing relations with that organization.
Yes, but in principle, sub-granting is not allowed. You can hire the services, obviously, of other entities to do a number of certain things. The applicant and the co-applicant with the affiliated entities, if any, that they have to do the activities. Eventually, you can mention in your proposal that you will use the resources or the services of a given institution that is there, you know, to see the pertinency of that use of those external things, you know. But obviously, it will, if any, it will have to be very residual, you know, because the idea is that the applicants, the lead applicant or the co-applicant, do the action.
Exactly. So it's the subcontracting services, it's permitted, but they are restricted to certain rule. So the amount that you can subcontract has to be less than 20,000 K per activity. So there are different rules to apply. I will ask you to write to provide an official clarification request, and we will reply directly. But in this case, it will be like this: you can contract services, but there is a budget limit. So.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have Sunil Motwani.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Actually, we are what we can say, we are the plastic recyclers from Pakistan, and we don't have any kind of association with any company in Europe or anywhere else in the world. We have been exporting to many different countries our product, that is the food grade flakes, and originated from Pakistan's waste. Can we apply easily for this grant? We want to expand and have a lot of plans.
You should find a co-applicant that belongs from the eligible countries. You should find a partner that will implement the action with you and be established in Europe, actually, or in the other area that are eligible under the grants.
मतलब हम लीड में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं.
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't speak. Somebody else speak.
Okay, but Sunil, was that clear enough for you?
If I don't have anyone, because we don't have any roots outside of Pakistan, so
No, you need to find someone else.
Yeah, but you can, just a suggestion, you can visit our website and see who are implementing the other project, and use the website as a tool for networking. Maybe there is someone that can, you can build a network there, establish a relation with the other applicants, and maybe you can find your co-applicants. It's just a suggestion.
If I have some, some of the, my friends or someone whom I know who can work with me, they are working with me as a supplier or as a customer who has offices outside, can I make a consortium with them if they are present in the European countries, if any of the European country, which, OECD member state?
Yeah, we need one co-applicant. So one of the member of your consortium has to be established in the eligible area, and at least we should have one from Europe and one from Asian Pacific countries.
It may be a co-applicant, right? It may be I can be the lead. We can be the lead applicant from Pakistan. I can have the co-applicant from one of the OECD member countries. It is okay, right?
Pakistan, it belongs to the least developing country. No, you are obliged to have someone. You are obliged to have someone from Europe.
You need to check under footnote 8 on page 8. You have the list of LDCs.
Yeah,
I was looking at it actually. I read the whole point is we don't have anyone like that. We can look into it. But is there anything? It is stated they can find some people from the lead countries, OECD countries, whom we can, do the joint venture, something like.
Sorry, repeat your last statement. Sorry.
It's like, can we find the list of companies who are interested to join with us, or where can we find somewhere?
No, we don't have the list of companies that are working with the program, but we suggest you to visit our Switch program website. We will in the presentation, my colleagues Guy at the beginning has shared the link, so you can go there and find and have a look to the past project and see if there will be any possible relations that you can establish and find applicants.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Next we have Han Le.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I have two questions. Number one is the consortium that what we would like to enter into include entity from Europe and entity from Vietnam, plus our company is Singapore registered company. So can we, as a Singapore registered company, enter as a co-applicant or lead applicant? That's the first question. And the second question is...
I'm sorry if I interrupt you. Singapore is not one of the eligible country. So these companies are not eligible.
So the company is not eligible. Even the project idea is in, say, Vietnam.
Yes, but you need a company that is established in Vietnam in order to present the project.
Okay, in the consortium. So the company cannot be in the consortium at all.
Yes, if it belongs it's established in Vietnam, yes. If it's established in Singapore, no.
Okay.
Singapore.
If Singapore, they do it in an LDC.
Yeah. If the idea, yes, but they are talking about Vietnam. Implement the action in Vietnam. If you implement the action in LDC countries, you can use the company from Singapore.
Okay.
On the contrary, no. But I will say we have already replied to a long list of the similar question. No, so let's maybe if you have the same question again, it will be better to. I think that we have replied enough to this kind of question. But anyway, everything that is written in the chat and it will arrive via our functional mailbox, it will be replied anyway. But now let's
but I think
just...
she had a second question.
Yeah. So I have a second question is, say, for the daily rates related to Sylvie's question before, daily rates for, say, consultant, how do you deal with the tax? How do you guys see tax for that? So, yeah, can it be added or cannot be added at all?
Well, no, to conclude with your first question, because just in case to avoid that you write again, Singapore is not a member of OECD, right? It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So since Singapore is not member of the EU, is not member of the ECB, is not member of the European Economic Area, and is not member of the pre-accession assistance, Singapore, an entity from Singapore is not eligible. Even if you do the project in Vietnam, and even if you go with hand to hand with an European company. Okay, that's clear.
I see.
Okay, and your second question concerning the taxes are eligible.
Taxes?
VAT, you know, what we are not, VAT, you know, those taxes that are currently those actions, okay?
But she was asking about human resources taxes.
So the daily rates.
Yeah, according to the daily rates.
What is the daily rates?
They will be, if they are, you should calculate them in the daily rates of the salary, and it will, yes, we will not.
The cost of human resources are the cost of human resources, whatever it is the cost.
Okay.
If they, by law, they have to have a pension scheme, social security, whatever it is, depending on the law, depending on the contract of the person, etc., etc. You know, so this is a part of the cost.
So you should estimate this cost in the daily rate, and yes.
Okay.
You
No,
don't
that's
need
great.
to know, you don't need to split this cost. We just need to know the general amount, and for you, you know that inside are included taxes.
Okay. Now that's clear. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next is Joris Moors.
Thank you for the time. I had asked the question on the eligible companies as applicants, the size of that. We heard before that the $150 million revenue is not important, but on the European Commission states an SME can have up to 250 people working there, and yearly revenue max 50 million euros. Do the same definitions apply here? So will a company with more than 250 people be eligible? Yes or no?
Yes.
The eligibility criteria are set up in the guidelines, and as we said before, turnover or number of employees is not a requirement. So the only thing is that, of course, the company has to have a proportion, the scale of the project. As you can understand, a small company with 2 employees doing a super ambitious project in a country where they are not even established, so it will be difficult. They will be eligible, they could do it, but then another thing will be the operational or technical aspects, how they will be evaluated, because the evaluators will see that difficult to code, for example, you know. But in principle, as we said, financial results, balances, and employees are not a criteria.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take 8 more questions and then we'll wrap it up. So next one is Daniela Hobby.
Yes, hi, can you hear me well?
Yep.
I have a question about the content, because in priority 1, you say support MSMEs in reducing their greenhouse gas emissions and environmental impact. And I was wondering if we are addressing the environmental impact, let's say reduction of hazardous chemicals, and we're not directly reducing greenhouse gas emissions, if that is still possible to present a project that basically doesn't do carbon footprint, but environmental footprint.
No, it should be both.
It should be both.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, super. Next we have Sanjeev.
Hi, I'm from Stenham Asia, and my question is that if in, let's say, lot 1, for example, I'm a co-applicant for 2 projects, and one is for country A, one is for country B with different lead applicants, and both on submission of concept note manage to get the score that you would be likely to invite them for the full proposal. But your rule is that only one project begins. So what happens at this stage? Would you tell both those project lead partners that this is the case and you have to change one co-applicant, or you would make some decision? I mean, I'm just curious how this will play out.
Which
You've got 2 projects in one country, country A, country B, different lead applicants.
But the highest ranked project will be awarded, of course. The selection will be done not on the fact that the same applicant will appear in one or 2 projects. The selection will be done according to the project itself. So all the criteria will be taken into consideration, and the highest ranked project will pass and will be awarded.
Yeah, so I'm just curious that in a situation where in both the cases the project made the highest ranking, country A, country B, but the co-applicant was the same, how would you then handle that? I mean, do we need to withdraw, or because we need to be clear, we are actually putting together the concepts for 2 countries with 2 different lead applicants?
No, it will be, imagine 2 different projects with the same applicant or co-applicant. okay? In different countries, in different sectors, whatever, 2 different projects in the same lot. The project that will be retained is the one that gets more marks, I mean, concerning the evaluation of the offer, the suitability, all the things that will be marked, the relevance, the design, etc., etc. So that's all. If let's say, to say an example, if in this case, in one offer, this applicant or co-applicant got 89 points, and in the other got 90 points, the proposal of 90 points will be selected.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Was that Sanjeev or?
I think yes.
Yes, that was me, the last question.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, Zinaida.
Zinaida.
Yeah.
Hello, colleagues. Two very quick questions. One probably a little bit more complicated for the rest of the audience, but understood by the EU colleagues. So one is simple one. How the requirements treating procurement of the equipment or investment in the equipment? Would it be, of course, if it is monitoring equipment, I would understand that's quite possible. But what if it is a production equipment? Are there any restrictive rules for that, or is it at all allowed to invest into the production equipment of the grants? It's number one.
I need to investigate. I'm not able to reply to this question. I'm sorry. I need to.
No worries. We will just share it.
Yeah. The procurement of production equipment. Yeah, is completely eligible.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. The second question is a bit more complicated, and it's done from the perspective of policy support component, which I'm representing together with a number of colleagues which are on call. Can the applicants or applicant organizations be eligible if one of the associated experts is currently serving as expert for the policy support component for the technical advisories? So the differences, of course, it's on the one hand, it is, so we are, for the grants, it is organizations which are applying, but we are working with some individuals. And it is very critical for us because from our perspective, we are trying to sit between the grants and the policy support, policy advisories to the countries, linking them, and unavoidably we did, or we are planning to bring some of the individual experts, this is our modality, into the action for the PSC. So would you say it is not advisable? And as I wrote in the chat, the core here is understanding the difference between BSc association with grants as applicants organizations and with experts which are somehow connected to the grant applicants. So people and organization.
No. It's tough. So the expert that are working on the policy support component will be staff member of the grant component too. This is the question, if it is allowed or not.
Right.
Staff
members or experts which are hired by the grant for implementing, or were or want to be. So they can be staff members permanently or temporary, put it this way.
Yeah. No, we don't talk about the experts. We talk about applicant, co-applicant, etc. So expert is not on the guidelines, right?
Brilliant.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, Sebastian. That's perfect. It's very well understood. It's what we suspected, but we want to clarify because otherwise all our construct of bringing together different components of switch might fall apart. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Noriyawati Muyono.
I'm here. I just want to clarify that in the guideline, page 9, that's mentioned that the applicant should be from AU members or Asia Pacific, not and. Means that having a partner in AU is not a must, can be or.
No, it's mandatory. It's mandatory to have a partner that belongs to European Union, European Economic Area, or APA accession country. It's mandatory. It's
Could you open the guideline? Page 9. PDF page 9.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, or and.
So be established in a member state of the European Union or be established in one of the
or
following.
pre-accession countries, assistance countries, and or OECD countries, and one from Asian Pacific countries.
Which is on page 10.
Which is in page 10, yeah. On page 10, let's say each proposal should be submitted by a partnership consortium composed at least by one lead applicant and co-applicant, at least one organization from a member state of European Union or Economic Area, and at least one organization from an eligible Asian Pacific countries. So this is mandatory.
Oh, okay. So means means that page 9 is quite different. I don't know, maybe I misunderstand about it, but thank you for confirmation. Means okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next we have Ira Tarakan.
Yes, a quick question about the lead and the co-applicant consortium. If we are an organization based in Indonesia, we plan to have a co-applicant who is another NGO in Indonesia. Is it possible, in order to include an EU presence, in the form of an affiliate organization as opposed to a co-applicant? That's question number one. Would we still be eligible to do that? Secondly, we are a social enterprise that has aspirations of becoming a for-profit business. Now, it's going to take a year before these grants are awarded, by which time we might have become profitable or we might not. At the moment, we are generating revenues, but we have no profit. We are a company established in Indonesia. So what happens, for instance, if midway through the grant, we go beyond, we are in fact profitable? The intent of this organization is entirely social, but with the objective of becoming commercializable in the future, we hope to generate profits fairly soon. We see this perhaps happening midway through the grant. How do we, are we still eligible?
The entities applying under this call, they can be profitable. What you cannot do is profit with this grant. Okay.
You cannot?
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Yes, you can be for profit, but?
But you cannot do profit out of this grant.
Okay.
The project cannot generate profit for your company.
Okay.
Because this is not a service contract, it's a grant. So grant, there is no profit. One of the applicants or co-applicants or others, they can be a profit organization. Yes, they can.
No, so you can be profitable or you cannot, a for-profit organization, or you cannot?
You can be, according to the guidelines, a business and for-profit organization, okay?
Okay, like as in not a commercial entity, but let's say an NGO that's generating some kind of some profit and then applying it back into the community?
Yeah, you can apply, of course, but the project cannot, by the action of the project, you cannot receive any revenue. Any revenue to your organization has to belong from our project. But as a business organization, you can apply. You are eligible.
So what happens to our profits? As a business organization, the idea is to generate profit.
Yes, I'm going to repeat the situation. your profit are your profits. We don't care about that. We don't mix with that. Are
Okay.
you doing any profit? Okay, very good. Congratulations.
But not from our project, not that, yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay. And the issue of substituting a co-applicant who's Europe-based with affiliate. Can we have an affiliate that's EU-based? Does that still allow us to?
Yes, the same eligibility criteria, the same nature of organization, it applies to applicant, lead applicant, co-applicant, and affiliates. So yes.
So if lead and co-applicant are both Indonesian and affiliate is EU, we're still okay.
But who is going to be the lead applicant?
The Indonesian entity. So
and who is going to be the co-applicant?
The Indonesian NGO.
Well, you need a co-applicant. One of both has to be European or OECD.
Oh, so it has to be the co-applicant that's EU. Okay.
Co-applicant or lead applicant. Up to you to see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have Soe Tun.
Thank you for the clarification. I'm Sotun from Myanmar. We are presenting a local NGO, which is Myanmar Fisheries Federation. And we have done a big EU project before in 21 finished. And there's one project that is outstanding, and we like to follow it up to give livelihood for the people. And then in the long coastline, so we are doing a sort of a FGG and focused discussion, and we're doing some things like growing seaweed farming, mussel farming, shrimp farming in the, in the mangrove area where there's a fight between the people and the forestry. We want to deal it with it. And then there's a lead from the European project before, which is very good. And the farmers are asking for us to do something. So we like to promote that also. So is there a chance that we are doing some aquaculture project in the region for the young people? Because most of the young people, because of the political turmoil, they are gone off the country. So we want to get that back. So can we do that? One thing. And another question is that for the country, Myanmar, in the turmoil, in a political situation, there's no INGO here. So how do we find our contracting partner? I think the embassy EU will maybe not be, I don't know how we should proceed here. Thank you.
So for your first question on aquaculture, I think if you look at section 2.1.4, there's the different sectors or themes, and you should probably look at the food sector paragraph to help you out with that. And for your second question, I'm not sure we can help you, but as you say, perhaps you can contact the EU delegation in Myanmar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I can add to that. Thank you.
Okay, almost at the end. We have 3 more. So we have Zain, and then we have Dinesh, and then Uma, and then we will close the session. So Zain, over to you.
Hi, thank you. Just didn't manage to catch the beginning of the presentation, so I wanted to ask, will the presentation be available for download?
Yes, we will put it on the YouTube channel of the Switch Asia.
Great. And then if you could just tell me, so I'm from the Aga Khan Foundation, Pakistan, an agency of the Aga Khan Development Network. We're headquartered in Geneva. So the way we normally work is that Aga Khan Foundation is a lead applicant, and we have our implementing agencies such as the Aga Khan Rural Support Program or Accelerate Prosperity, who actually are the implementing partners. And that is usually under sub-grant agreement. So I just wanted to seek some clarification on this point.
So you said you're based in Switzerland?
No, sorry. I'm based in Pakistan, in Aga Khan Foundation, Pakistan. The Aga Khan Foundation is headquartered in Switzerland, registered in Switzerland, rather.
Is registered in Switzerland?
Yes. So your doubt will be
if they can apply or not.
Your doubt will be.
Sorry.
Sorry. So your doubt is.
No, what I'm asking is Aga Khan Foundation usually provides, even though we are usually the signing entity, we provide project oversight, and the implementing partners are usually sister agencies within the Aga Khan Development Network. So this is usually done through sub-grant agreements with our sister agencies in the network. So I just wanted to ask, because there was a clause about subcontracting in this. So
To ask what? But formulate your question, please. To ask what?
our sister agencies within the Aga Khan Development Network who will be implementing partners for the Aga Khan Foundation eligible to be part of this through sub-grant agreements?
No.
Okay, who is going to be the applicant or the co-applicant?
The lead applicant would be the Aga Khan Foundation, but
who is established in?
Yes.
Who is established in where?
Geneva.
Is eligible.
Sorry?
Is eligible because Switzerland is Switzerland is the member of the OECD, is eligible, but it has to be the project in a least developing country.
Has to be implemented there.
And with regards to the other agencies within the Aga Khan Development Network who would do the implementation on behalf of the Aga Khan Foundation?
They are from where? Which is?
They would be located locally in Pakistan, where the project would be.
Located in Pakistan, and they are Pakistani.
They are also other agencies as part of the Aga Khan Development Network. So, for example, the Aga Khan Rural Support Program, Accelerate Prosperity.
But they have a link. They have a structural link with the main with the applicant.
Yes. Yes.
And this can be proved with statutes or equivalent from the organization.
Yes. Yes.
In that case, yes.
Okay, great. That clarifies. Thank you.
Thank you. So next one.
So the penultimate one is Dinesh Pathak.
Okay, hi. Thank you. So in the call for proposal guideline, I think it priority 1 mentions supporting MSMEs to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, but in the page number 6, I think it also this guideline says that the proposal will support priorities of the global gateway. That it follows like it should comply with the EU standard norms, so that the imports to European markets have more sustainable products. I think it makes a sense like that. For example, if we are working in Nepal, then the MSMEs, we should have sustainable products that are exportable to European markets, right? But is this the sense we should be focusing on?
I think what you should be focusing on is looking at the priorities, which are on page 7.
Yeah.
I think you should read those carefully and also look at
the page. The page 7 priority. I think 1 and 2 both are clear.
Yeah,
it means,
and also look at page 14 at the different types of actions which can be financed under the call.
Yeah, that is, I think, one part. But this in page number 6, it mentions that the proposal will support priorities of the global gateway, right? And by strengthening the resilience and integration of value chains and promoting EU interests and values by ensuring that supply chains of EU companies in the third countries may comply with EU standards and norms. Yeah. So, and ensuring the imports of more sustainable products to the EU markets. So our production should be such that it should be sustainable and meets various EU standards from our country, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I think for countries like Nepal, where we have very less percentage of export to EU countries, I think it is hardly more than 5%. So how about not meeting the EU standards but focusing on more cleaner production, more greenhouse gas reduction, more sustainable practices? That might not be the totally agree with the EU standards, but might be working in Nepal context.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
Yes, those things will necessarily be evaluated once the concept note is received, and eventually after the offer. This whole process will be evaluated by a number of evaluators, and this will have to be assessed at that point. Right now, we cannot say anything. It's not because we can; it's because we don't have any element. So this will be the subject of the evaluation itself.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the last question, because I have another meeting to go to. I'm very sorry. We have Uma Ramachandran.
Close.
Well, okay, Uma or Bachimeg.
Oh, yes, hello, thank you so much. Just managed. I have a quick question regarding the sectors. And in the guidelines, it says additional sectors will be considered as specific needs will arise. And my sector that I'm applying for or preparing proposal for is in furniture, especially timber, wooden materials and wooden furniture. And in Mongolia, it's a yurt. There is a traditional, nomad's house. There's skeleton of which is made of wood, and then 3R of all these wooden materials, and that is the idea. Would that be considered?
Yes. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's linked if.
Very much indeed.
Yeah.
Why not?
Or should I somehow just push a little bit so that it falls under the building and construction sector, or?
Yeah, that could also work. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be linked to the priority listed in our guidelines, but of course
it's not completely absurd.
Sort of, yeah, white black or something. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. We will just copy paste the chat questions, and we can now end this call. Thank you so much, and have a good afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.